Florida law lets developers create their own little government to build roads and other amenities for new subdivisions. Well, tonight, I-Team investigator Michael George shows us how that law might have been abused in the case of a failed Tampa project.
On the Tampa side of the Gandy Bridge, a glitzy marina project was expected to gross more than $1 billion for a local real estate developer and his investors.
It was a grandiose plan.
But nearby residents say 7 years and $50 million in tax-exempt bond financing later.
And I'm looking out at a 58-acre wasteland. It isn't bringing any tax revenue into the county or the city.
Last summer, the I-Team showed you how taxing authorities called Community Development Districts, or CDDs, can leave new home buyers without the clubhouses and parks they were promised. But what happens when nothing at all gets built in a CDD project?
It's a blatant conflict of interest.
The developer of Port Tampa Bay put his own employees in charge of the CDD, as is allowed under state law. Attorney Thomas Wright, who helped write Florida's CDD law, says that led the district to pay such inflated prices for the developer's land that Port Tampa Bay would have failed even if Florida's real estate market hadn't crumbled.
Essentially, the game became how developers can get money out of the project as fast as possible.
Distressed asset analyst Andrew Sanford has looked at Port Tampa Bay and other Florida CDDs that went broke.
Rather than using their better sound judgment to do the deals, they were exploiting them to the furthest extent possible.
We requested an interview with Port Tampa Bay developer Ed Olschlager, whose companies were sued after the project's collapse, but he never responded. We did find a former investor in Port Tampa Bay who's still upbeat about community development districts.
It's a great idea. It's a great idea, as long as you don't abuse it.
Since the Port Tampa Bay CDD defaulted, Carl Lindell Jr. and others have scooped up the district's bonds for pennies on the dollars that the original bond buyers paid. Lindell predicts something will rise from the Gandy site soon.
And developers are starting to look for great deals, and this is certainly a great deal.
Except maybe for bondholders. CDD expert Thomas Wright says the IRS should look at the Port Tampa Bay bonds to see if they still deserve tax-exempt status, since they seem to have mostly benefited the developer. I'm I-Team investigator Michael George, taking action for you.